Welcome back. Another edition of the Down and Back with CornDoug, presented by Octane Cornhole. This week, I'm going to be talking about the ACL Pro Shootout in Albany, and also they're having the Open in Albany this weekend. Albany, New York, that is. This is really, I was talking with Matt the other day from Octane, and it's like, you know what, when we were able to travel and everything, they had, none of the tournaments were close to us, and closest we came was that debacle in Cleveland a little over a year ago. And then now it's like they're going to Albany, New York, and it's just stuff that's close to us and we can't get there, and it's just killing us. Yeah, so talking about that, that shootout and the Open that's there, and then on the show this week, someone I've been talking to a little bit for a while now about coming on the show, wanting to have him on. Not an ACL Pro, but I think at a time he will be an ACL Pro. I first caught wind of this guy back. He won a tournament down in Kentucky, I believe, and watching him, and he wasn't wearing he was throwing Octane bags. Didn't have an Octane shirt, and the shirt I seen, we'll talk about this, was a Detroit Vipers shirt. And if anyone knows me outside of cornhole, if you talk to them, Detroit Vipers, not my favorite hockey team. But anyway, for a lot of reasons, some funny, some not so funny. But yeah, so out of Michigan, it's not out of the Michigan area because he's out of Michigan. Will Neef will be on the show this week. Had a great talk with him. We have some mutual friends in common. He knows some other people that have been on the show. Some people I got to throw with before, and yeah, just great conversation with him, and I think you will like it. So getting on to the ACL Pro Shootout, my picks for that is I got to go one team that's going to be there. Seeing some of the stuff that Trey has put up, because you're never real sure of what teams are going to be there, who's going to be playing. So my one team will be a team that was there. I believe they made the Final Four last in the first pro shootout. Will be Harvey and Washington, just because I've always liked the way James Washington is throwing. Ever since the first time I got to see him was in Cherokee 2018, and just his style. He's got that. He knows what to do when he needs to do it, and I think him and Mike will be a factor again in this one. Then there's always Jamie Graham, Matt Guy, and they've been getting it done on the doubles scene. I'm still not convinced on Jamie in his singles play, but I think Matt really picks him up. Well, I think Matt could pick anybody up with the doubles play. So I think there's a possibility of them being a factor. Another team that's getting together just for this pro shootout would be Windsor and Birchfield. I think with their, because Trey has just been on fire, so I think they're going to be a factor. And just some other ones, because like I said, you never really know what the shootout going in, who's going to be there. I know Mike Ferrer is going to be there with a new partner for him this week. Hasib is not going to be there. So Chris Tornatola will be there in playing the doubles with Mike Ferreira. So Tornado tossing it. He's usually with Bobby Sperry, the Octane Thor. This time he's going with Mike Ferreira, and I've been told they are going to be throwing Octane bags. So I'm not sure which ones they're going with, just because I've heard that the boards were playing kind of sticky yesterday there. So I'm not sure. I know Mike is an Apex guy, and with that sticky stuff with the Apex, I'm not sure that would be good for sticky board conditions. So I'm not sure just what he'll be throwing there. We'll have to wait and see until we see them throw. So that's that. Singles toss up. Brett Guy's not going to be involved in it just because he's already punched his ticket. Singles, you got to be going with Matt Guy. I said before that I'm not that he has to show something, but I think that he has to show something. Just with the way his singles play has been going, would be Jamie Graham. I'm still not gonna put him in my top right now for singles play, just with how things have gone. I don't, and there's all the regulars. You got the Trey Birchfield, the Ryan Windsors that are going to be there. So I think it is going to be one of the top names. Yeah, because Jordan Powers there. He's been kind of been up and coming. I'm not sure he's really right there yet. I know he'll be there with a different doubles partner. I think he's there with Tom Walter this weekend. Chad Webb isn't going to be there, so he's going to be having that different doubles partner. So I'm not sure how in the doubles, to go back on that for a second, what that's going to play out with Jordan, with a new partner. But singles, there's a chance he's that young cocky thrower, and I think he could have a chance in it. There's just so many to just choose from in the singles area. Ryan Smith, is he going to have that other repeat performance where he kind of rolled through everybody? Remember before the last one, I talked about how he needed to put that Vegas debacle behind him. He did for that last pro shootout. Can he do the same in this one here? That's remained to be seen. So I think the singles right now without Brett Guy there, it's got to be. I got to say it's a toss up, because Matt, like I said, Matt's going to be there. It's there, so I can't really give you a who's going to be there, or who I'm really picking. So because Emperor Mike Ferreira, again, another guy that he can be there depending on what the board's like, because I said if it's a sticky board, he's that apex guy, and that sticky side of the apex will really, if it's a sticky board, it's going to be like glue. So a real big toss up there. Women's singles, really, I gotta be looking for myself. I gotta be looking for Allison Peters to kind of have another kind of comeback. With that, you've got the other ones. You got the Kaylee Hunter, the Rosie Streaker. There's just so many there that can go. Sam Finley will be at the tournament, but she won't be playing just because she, like I said, let's say with Brett Guy, she's already punched her ticket to get there. So I'm gonna probably say look for Allison Peters. We will have an Octane player there, Melissa Morrison. I'm not sure. She's been doing well at some of the other tournaments she's been to. Not sure she's ready to step up with the other big guns. But I think Allison Peters will be the one. Is going to be my call. I'll be able to call the women's game. I'm not going to call the men's doubles and singles. That's just out there. I think Allison Peters will be the class of the field for the women's singles, and yeah, so they'll be. I think she'll be taking it down. You'll be able to see all the semifinal action, CBS Sports Network, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Then, so if anyone's watching and you get the CBS Sports Network, put it on Facebook Live or whatever, and just show your TV just so people up here can watch it, because we won't be able to see anything until the finals on Saturday afternoon. Check your local CBS affiliates for that there, and we'll be able to watch it up in Canada. But yeah, I think it should be a good weekend. That being said, then going into the Open will start then on Saturday. That one's another one. It's because you're going to have a bunch of teams there, some other partner changeovers. I know Mike Ferreira's going to have a different partner. I've already talked with him about that, and it's going to be exciting to see that, because I got a little glimpse of it on what we say Wednesday night. I got a bit of a glimpse of it with watching Mike Morton's feed of Matthew playing in a blind draw type of event down in Virginia. Him and his partner were throwing against Berkeley Pear. Now, Berkeley Pear will be throwing Octane bags at this event because he will be partnered up with Mike Ferreira. So Berkeley was doing some stuff with an Octane Apex bag that I talked with Matt here about. That it was brand new, not broken in, and just the way he was throwing air mails, rolling the bag. I can't wait to see how he's going to be throwing the Octane bags. He's got the Octane shirt on. He's ready to go. And I think that will be really interesting to watch that. So that's that. And then along with all the other stuff with all the other pros there. But I'm not sure who will be the non-pro that will be coming up to see. Who knows? Will it be Brendan Ahern and Donnie McPhee? Will they be the non-pros to come and steal this whole spotlight in the level one? Probably not, but we'll see. Always love to kid with those guys, but yeah. So that's with what's upcoming there, and for the pro shootout and the ACL Open in Albany, New York. Yeah, before we kick this to the interview with Will Neef, be like Will. Head over to octanecornhole.com. Get yourself some new bags, some new shirts. Jerseys are there. Use discount code CornDoug. Get yourself 10% off. Then, as always, when you're done there, head over to myearfun.com. It says it right down below. It's going to start scrolling right there. myearfun.com. Discount code CornDoug. Get you 20% off of earbuds, Bluetooth speakers. The summer's coming. You need your waterproof Bluetooth speaker. And then you can go over to jccornhole.com. Let Jamie know that I sent you. He's saying that some people may get a break on price of the boards. Who knows? And then as always, if you're in the Edmonton, Alberta area, check out sierrahome.com. Sierra Property Inspections. Darren there will help set you up with let you know what you need to do to a new home purchase or one that you're looking at, or even some sort of renovations. Darren knows what he's talking about. And yeah, so other than that, got some other news for you on the other side of this interview. Here is Mr. Will Neef. And I'd like to welcome to the show Will Neef. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Doug. How are you?
Not too bad. We've had a lot of conversations on Facebook about stuff other than cornhole that we might butt heads a bit about, but we'll get into that later on. Throwing octane bags. How'd you find out about octane bags?
It was one of the tournaments that was on TV when I was getting into the sport, and I was still pretty new. I had some mother shuckers at the time. They were just the local bag that everyone threw, and I think it was Hobby Bond that was throwing them, and I was like, "That's crazy! I haven't heard of these. He's throwing them really well." So I went onto the Octane site, and they have great explanations of all the different types of bags. Slick side, slow side, how they work, what kind of material. So that was my second bag I had ever used. I went with the Nitro to start. I throw a higher shot, so a fast bag always works well. And still use those. That's still my trusty set of bags. I have a green and white Nitro, but really all I throw is Octane. I fell in love with them. The great service. I love talking with Matt. Done some customs recently. Usually get them within a week across the border down onto Michigan here, and other bags. Some people wait a couple months to get them. So everybody, the experience is just top notch. So fall in love with them.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I know Matt likes talking to you. I'm not sure he likes talking to me sometimes because I just have some crazy ideas to do. But so we'll rewind a bit farther than that there. So back to your start in cornhole. How'd you get started playing the game?
Like everyone, started as a backyard player, barbecues, tailgates, things like that. I played a year of college soccer, a year of college hockey, but I've had 4 knee surgeries, so I kind of had to stop everything competitive. So instead of looking, for those types of sports, recreational leagues following college, I joined a local cornhole league with my sister and had a great time. Don't think we won a game in our first 2 seasons, but I just fell in love with the game, the community, and it definitely met that social need to hang out with the guys, something to do fun on the weekends or weeknights, and definitely the competitive need as well. So just fell in love with it.
Well, not saying that it's funny you say it, but just kind of how you came into cornhole, being a play, like you played other sports, and then an injury kind of brought you to cornhole to get that competitive thing back. Because it's almost like almost all of the pros and any of the good players that I've been able to talk to, that's kind of how they started with cornhole, to get that competitive edge back, either being Timothy Pitcher with a knee or someone else just kind of, it's almost like that injury kind of brings you back to cornhole.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just this, some of the past telecasts, Bernasset and there was one other guy they talked about, but yeah, Trey goes through those names all the time. So it's definitely a close knit community, and it's not I think it's easy for people to look at it and just be like, oh, it's cornhole, it's throwing bags. But the more you get into it and see the complexities to it and the strategy, it's really a fun game.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So like as you said, you were throwing octane bags. So the first time I got a chance to really see you was you had that big showing down with the guys at the shed down in Louisville, and I was like, hey Matt, did you see this guy throwing octane? He's like, yeah, I sent him bags. And I was like, okay, yeah, because that's how much he likes to talk to me about octane. But yeah, so it's so you had that big performance down there. So we want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, that was a blast. That was one of my first times traveling out of the state for a tournament. Done a lot of the local regionals here. You talk about Chaz and some of the blue collar he puts on. But that was my first time traveling, especially playing up in the advanced level, and first time to see a lot of the pros in action as well. So it was fun to see, how all of them prepared. Uh, Even something as simple as if they, had a couple of beers during, or if they just stayed them to themselves, listened to music or didn't. But while I was taking that in, made a good run. Great competition down there. I know we have a heavy talent pool in this area, but it doesn't run shallow in that area as well. So I got to meet a lot of people. Was able to string quite a few wins together. Went undefeated in the weekend, which was pretty cool, and it was nice to finish one off.
Oh yeah, I know exactly how that competition is down there. As I was in North Carolina for a bit, and it's just man, you kind of have like for up here we had we're kind of like the ones to play up here with Canada, and then we went down there thinking, oh, we're not going to be too bad, and then it's like, okay, yeah, that's a couple games lost, 21-0, and it's let's go on to the next day. But it's just that competition down there where it's like you can't take a game off.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's no breathers. I think more than the physical part to it. Everyone gets the muscle memory and can throw a bag really well, but it's just draining mentally more than anything. Throwing that many bags in the hole, staying focused. Because once you get to that level, I realized really quickly if you take a turn off and you're to the side of the hole or off the back, the old expression "tens don't score." There's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, for me, it's zeros don't score. But anyway, um, so yeah, so yeah, so you said that you do play with the blue collar guys and out of Michigan there, and I've had a chance to talk with Chaz. I got to meet him down in North Carolina, and even playing with even some of the other guys like Mike Jacques, who I knew only as Billy John from his Facebook account, and
Oh yeah.
he looked nothing like that Facebook picture. But yeah, but just even playing against guys like him, like for myself, when we were playing back in 2018, he was just kind of having some fun at the boards.
Mhm.
I'm trying my ass off trying to actually just hit the board, and he's just having some fun. And it's just, there's some great players in that club.
Oh yeah, they make it look easy too. I mean, just right now, Billy John and Austin, who did really well at states, Chad Webb and Jordan Power, who have been on the national scene now recently quite a bit. Definitely want to give them a shout out for the work that they've been doing, and Chad for putting that big sixth round to win it after facing a little adversity the previous tournament. So I mean, it runs deep. You got the two of them, O Train, Drink and Drew. I mean, there's just a ton of guys down here to compete against, and that's kind of the fun part about the cornhole community. Going back to that, but you can pick something up from each one of those players, and everyone's more than happy to share what they do, how they throw, how they're gripping the bag, different strategies they use, some of the mental components. So it's just a great group of people, and I feel like it's almost like going to a national or one of those conference tournaments every time we just have a regional around here. So it's
Well,
crazy.
exactly. I know Matt and Matt from Octane and Jamie from JC Cornhole. They actually went down and played with them a couple of years ago, before we actually went to the ACL finals, and they were like, exactly the same. Like they were down there, they were like two and done, and it's like, okay, I guess it's time to go home. But it's just that talent pool is just insane.
Yeah, it is. It's deep.
So yeah, so then fast forward to the other weekend, you had the Michigan State Championships. How'd you do in that?
Didn't do as well as I would have liked to. Definitely ran into some different conditions I wasn't necessarily prepared for. Nitro is definitely a fast bag, but we played in a big Kellogg Arena. But there was no AC running. It got hot, got humid. The boards got really sticky. And I was definitely struggling to get my bags to the hole, to say the least. I wasn't one of the only ones, but it definitely impacted me. It impacted some really good players. So just wasn't able to pull anything out there, but good experience. Definitely had a good time, and like we've been talking about, to reiterate, just the group of people, how many good players there are. You're not going to win every time. That's definitely the case for a large group of these players that go there wanting to win, wanting to place, that don't. But lessons were learned. Excited for the next one. That was my first time at doing states. So yeah, on to the next one. But it was still fun to travel and get away.
Well, then it's kind of funny you say about the boards getting sticky and it being warm in that facility, and I think that's the one thing where the people down south, they get that warm climate all the time. Where and for us up here, we got those couple months over the summer because let's face it, we do get those same temperatures as they
Yeah.
get in our summers, but it's just that, for especially for new players coming in, it's that thing that they maybe don't understand is how much kind of the ambient temperature or what's going on can affect boards and the bags.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge difference. I know playing on slide side, really slick boards, you throw your bag differently. You go to a different bag, and usually it's not as hard for me to adjust because I've been in that scenario more. So I'll pull out a turbo or pull out an Apex or one of these slower bags, but I definitely throw a very relaxed, high arcing bag. So trying to get the nitros up there even was a challenge. But yeah, it plays a huge role. Similar to bowling, if you're looking at the oil patterns, how close to you, how far down the lanes, and then everything else that comes in with it. Definitely have to be ready for all conditions, be able to adapt, both with what's in your arsenal in your bag, but even how you throw. And everyone's going through the same conditions. So no matter what the challenge is, you just have to try to make it an advantage for you, how you throw mentally, just being able to adapt. So it was a good learning experience.
Oh yeah, and I know firsthand with the learning experience for the last couple of weeks here with the weather now changing up here, and trying to help Matt with some R&D with some new stuff is like what I thought could be a really good bag. All of a sudden, once the humidity comes, it's like, okay, I'm not sure I like that one anymore. So it's that whole. I don't want to say game changer, but to level the field at some sort of a degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the best players can get thrown off once the conditions change. So just being able to adapt, absolutely.
Yeah. So, like I said off the top, there we've kind of chatted a bit on Facebook. So we've had a couple different things. I know seeing your one post on Facebook, seeing the Chelsea bags. I'm not sure how I missed those when Matt was putting them through. I know I didn't fill them, so because if I would have filled them, I might have put maybe something that didn't help you out, being a Man United fan. But it's still, that's what I think is fun too, because then you can have those other things away from the board, and you can maybe, if we ever do get a chance to play against each other, you can throw a couple of those cracks in as well.
Oh yeah, all the banter is just as fun. I know getting those bags, especially from Detroit, I'd one with the Chelsea on it, one with the Avs on it. So I don't make too many friends around here, but I might be commiserating with you a little bit after Saturday. Hopefully not in the big cup final. It didn't go your way yesterday.
No,
But
no, not
that's how
not
it
at all. But speaking of a cup final and kind of the banter back and forth, the other thing is, and when I did first see you playing, I said to Matt, I was like, we got to get this guy an Octane jersey, because seeing you wearing that Detroit Vipers shirt, was just a dagger. As being a Chicago Wolves fan myself.
Yeah, we got some good laughs out of that. And the ironic part was the jerseys had come up on pre-sale, I believe back in December. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I don't even have a cornhole jersey. I was like, Octane has to be the first one, and I ordered that. And true story, it came to my house about an hour after we left for Louisville. So it was sitting at my house, ready to be there. But yeah, I had to wear the Vipers jersey. It was cool to get. That's when I first got to have some conversations with you. I don't think anyone there knew who the Vipers were. They're like, what is that? And I had some guy named Doug, and he messages me, and he goes, "Man, you threw well, but we got to change that Vipers shirt." So that was good fun.
Well, because I loved going to the Vipers games, because I was only ever there when Chicago played, just because I had a friend who played for them, but just the atmosphere at those games was just fun, especially for me, with the way the Chicago Wolves fans traveled, the way they interacted at the game, and it was a great rivalry while the IHL was around.
Yeah, it was a great rivalry, and it was a fun barn to play at. I mean, I don't know if you can say a barn. It was where the Pistons played at the time, but it was the biggest basketball-specific arena at the time in the United States. So filling that up with a hockey crowd was those were fun nights to go to watch those, and especially watching them play the Wolves. Those were fun memories.
Well, and for me, I'm going to say before the Raptors came along, I was a Pistons fan, so that was another reason for me to want to go. But I know I had some good memories there. Had some that weren't so good. I know my wife won't like me talking about this, but I had maybe one or two run-ins with Vipe Bear, the mascot, that were not the most joyous ones. So maybe I won't corroborate the story, but there may have been a little bit of an altercation in the stands at one point. There was he wanted to dump the bucket of popcorn over me. I was not going for that, but it added to the fun of those games.
Oh, it did. Minor league hockey it's a lot of fun, and when that league kind of washed up in our area, I always went and saw a bunch of OHL games. So watching the Whalers, I'd go up to Windsor a lot and watch Spitfire games. On special occasions for my birthday or whatnot, my dad and I would go under the tunnel up there. So yeah, it's great hockey, great supporting base. Usually a few brews with your buddies, and it's a good time.
Well, maybe we may have to start something with now that there's the other teams in Michigan, with the Kitchen Rangers. When they go there, maybe we'll have to travel, and then you guys come travel to us.
Oh, I would love to meet up for a game. That'd be a great time. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, a couple other things I've been kind of doing lately with the show is a couple questions is because I haven't been able to see you throw yet. So, is it a step or a no step for you?
No step.
No step. So then then I guess kind of elaborate a bit more on that. What's your thought on the crossover step? The thing that's been all the rage now that people are kind of going over is the release and then step.
Yeah, that's been a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. I understood why people got heated about it crossing the line every time. Again, kind of going back to the bowling comparison there. I will say I definitely do go over the line sometimes, especially on a push shot. So I'm not going to bash it too much because it definitely helps me sometimes. If they were to get rid of it, I would understand that. As is, I have no problem with it. I think the one tough thing is you play an opponent. It can get really slow if every single throw they're crossing the line and kind of walking back, and they're doing this in your peripheral vision and stuff. So I get that, but I try not to get too heated about it. It is what it is right now.
Well, for me, what I kind of think about it is like, well, if we can't do that there, then you can't reach over because everyone says, oh, well, you're committing a foul or whatever. But it's if you're reaching over with your arm across the bag with the bag over the line, isn't that almost the same thing?
Yeah, I get that too.
So then and then with the ear fun with partnership with the show, are you earbuds or no earbuds?
No earbuds. No, I always like. I actually heard it a couple weeks ago. I think Cody Henderson was talking about it, and he's like, you really rob yourself of the overall experience if you have it, and that's kind of been my feel, not because I feel like I'm robbing myself, but growing up playing sports and at a somewhat decent high level, I always liked the banner and hearing what people are saying and enjoying the atmosphere. But I also get where you have to be locked in. So if music's your thing, then no problem against it. Just not mine.
Well, I think for Cody, he might be thinking that people are robbing themselves of listening to him talk when he's playing.
He probably likes that too.
Yeah, just saying. But it's and I guess we can in talking about that with the banter. What was your thought on seeing when you were down in Louisville with the pros and that? I guess you do play with pros there, but just after the fourth, fifth, sixth performance enhancing beverage, just how loose that they can get and the banter between them, because I was able to actually see Cody. I think it was a Crew Cup game with Cody, Ryan Windsor, Jordan Kamba, James Baldwin against. They were playing against Dotson, Short, and then Graham and Trevor Brooks, and and it was pretty late at night, but just the amount of fun that they had was just incredible.
I'm sure in a Crew Cup match too. that would be good TV.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it was. I think luckily for what was going on, it wasn't on TV, but it was. But it's just that fun that I think a lot of people, when you're watching on TV, everything is all serious, right? It's there, but to get those other pros away and to be able to see them up close, being able to see how personal they can be and how much fun that they do actually have with the game.
Yeah, they have a great time. Just it's their own little community. We all have our cornhole community, and they're obviously at a higher level where a lot of people aspire to be, but they have the same fun with the game. I mean, it started in the backyard and people try not to take it too seriously. It's there to compete, but at the end of the day, it's a fun game, and it's fun to play with the guys you know.
Exactly, yeah. So I want to thank you for taking the time to do this here little talk with me, and hopefully we'll be able to play live at some point once all of this COVID stuff is done, because I think from talking with Matt, he's got some plans to maybe travel down to check you guys out at one of your tournaments, and I guess we can just donate some money to you guys playing, because I'm not sure we'll be able to keep up. But it's been fun, and thanks for coming on.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Always good to talk to you, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other in person sometime soon. But until then, stay healthy and take care of yourself.
Yeah, same to you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Doug.
And I want to thank Will for coming on, doing that interview. I know we'll be hearing from him again soon. I'm going to have him back on the show at some point later on once we start playing more, and maybe even once some borders open up, I might be able to head over to Michigan and play with some of those guys in the blue collar, because like you said in the interview there, Chaz and Christine over there do a fantastic job with their blue collar cornhole over in the Michigan area. So yeah, so check them out, Blue Collar Cornhole on Facebook. Like I said, they great job, big tournaments, great players, a lot of fun stuff. So check them out. Another thing to check out: Sox Cup, Southern Ontario Cornhole Series. The starting to get some dates announced for when teams need to be registered by and when you have to have your teams in for starting play, because it's starting to set up. And a big shout out to Wallaceburg Cornhole, right there, the hat. Thank you for the hat. The Wallaceburg Beavers will be playing in the Sox Cup. Should be fun there with Travis and all the people there. And yeah, so that was Sox. Check out that. Sox Cup is on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. It's starting to go. And yeah, so cornhole now, we're getting closer. That light at the end of the tunnel is almost here again for like the second or third time. Our lockdown is over, so now we can go outside the house, but there's no place to go. So we got to wait another 14 days, then we can start playing outside again in small groups. If you're in the Alliston, Aurelia, and Innisfil area, June 14th, 16th, and 17th. Each one of those cities, Aurelia, Alliston, Innisfil, not sure if in what order they're going to be going, but those 3 dates, they'll be starting up. Check out CornDoug Cornhole on Facebook, on Twitter. And Mike will have all the info you need on how to set up. They're going to be doing 2 separate hours, I believe. One for 10 people at the first hour, 10 people the second hour. And you've been playing 4 games. I think it's like cost is like $5 for 4 games. Great deal. Hopefully we can get new players only out there. If you're an established player coming from outside the area, no need to travel. Let them get their league set up. Everyone knows my feelings on that. But yeah, let them get all set up and get rolling. And we'll be able to have some fun. And yeah, so to wrap things up here, been doing some talking and finding out what's going on. And looks like once things open up, the Down and Back will be traveling. We making plans to head to some of the other big events for the 21-22 season for the ACL, heading to some other big events, even possibly, not confirming, making a trip across the country, going to that other coast in that other little warmer area. Stay tuned for info on that. But yeah, other than that there, make sure you're hitting the like button, which is on this side, subscribe button right below there, and let us know what you think of the show. Leave a comment. Leave a comment on the show on the YouTube page. Leave a comment on the Facebook page. Let me know if there's anyone you want to see on the show or anything. We're over the 9,000 views now. We're heading to 10,000. Once we get to 10,000, a bigger contest, probably the biggest contest we've had on here. We just need another. Well, actually, we need less. We need about 800 views more, and we'll be able to do that. So, that being said, talked enough your ear off. We'll. Speaking of talking, we're not done yet. I thought I was going to be done, but not. Listen, coming up here Sunday. It's going to be released Sunday or Monday. An audio-only show. So you have to go to your favorite audio podcast download area. Be having a fantastic show. Brought the 6 guys that made up the first ACL Canada Conference team that went down to Cherokee, North Carolina. So I had Matt Plyle, Jamie Cowan, Steve Pohl, Corey Golbeck, who, as many have heard me say, he is the silent Bob of Cornhole, my regular partner. We have a lot of fun. And coming out of retirement, we found him. We had to go searching high and low for him. We brought, and if people from KW know him, Dan McMaster makes his return to talk cornhole. So, fun time. We talked for about an hour, talked a lot of crap about each other, had a lot of fun, and talked about our experience of all going down to lose some games very badly. We talk about the I'm going to say the 3-minute man that was down in Cherokee. So stay tuned for that there. Check out that on the audio. So you'll download this show here Friday, then go down and download the other one. You can get like an hour and a half of your listening pleasure for that. So until next week, remember, check out Thursdays on Facebook. We do the Facebook live hang, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. Depends on what you got to say. If you want to keep talking, or if you want me to keep talking, or you want me to shut up, you just say, hey, leave. But anyway, as always, watch those players throwing gas, because they might just kick your ass.